This is what you've been working on during the beta? Like...
Yeah, like I literally like an hour here and an hour there. I didn't get to work on it at all over Christmas or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I spent like the last couple of days quickly finishing it off. But I've probably spent like somewhere between 20 and 30 hours doing this. But there's a load of cool things in here, tips and tricks that I want to show everyone. And now everyone knows my name, is it? The Architect.
So,
now for something completely different.
Whoa.
So I was basically trying to make something super realistic in Dreams, which we have seen fairly realistic things, but I really wanted to push it as far as I could and make a pool game, because why not?
People coming to the realisation that you are the architect. It's great.
We've got different camera views here.
from
It Disarmed is oohing at you.
Yeah, it's high praise.
Yeah. And there's a few little tricks that I've done here, such as on this particular view, the depth of field, the distance is based on where the white ball is. So if I hit the white ball down there, you'll see the camera will track it and the depth of field goes down there.
Yeah.
And then it tracks it back.
Silky smooth.
What is made from the text gadget that blew my mind?
Oh, yeah.
So the God rays that are coming in on the left-hand side through the left-hand window there, they are text gadgets. It's really, really subtle. You can just about see it. And there's tiny little dust motes in there. And it's really good to be subtle with your dust motes, just like little tiny, we know there's dust motes there. Like, I've tried to put as many things in here that you won't notice, that you will, as much as you will notice, loads of little details. So if I go into edit mode, edit of the latest version.
He's not even doing it justice. There's an AI that you can play against as well. It's insane. I'm sure we'll get to that stuff.
John also used to be a builder, and you can really see it in how well made all of his props and creations are. It's like the joints.
So yeah, this fireplace, if I go into this camera actually, because then we don't...
Have you published this yet?
I'll publish it at the end of the stream.
So we'll publish it in the collection, okay.
So this fireplace, like Abby's saying, I was a builder at one point. In fact, I started as a stonemason, and this fireplace, quite literally this fireplace, as far as I can remember, is one of the first things that I did that I restored. So I thought I'd try and make it as accurate as I could as possible.
From memory.
I love
from
you
memory.
Even just have the little, ash and embers coming out at the bottom.
Just if we go down
attention to detail,
here,
John.
and there's little smoke coming off each of the tiny little embers up here.
Start seeing the flex when you get closer, but
but that's I actually did that on purpose on there to make it look like the sort of dancing. And then I put the shiny metal thing so you can see the firelight playing around in them.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, I've tried to use as many sort of different textures as possible. So I've got a carpet here. Yeah, and if we actually go into this floor...
Well, let's go into the floor.
I've made some of the things shiny and some things less shiny, just randomly, to give that sort of uneven texture to it. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole bunch of tips on this one.
So you made one single beam?
Yeah. In fact, if we look at it, I can... Let's close this camera down so it's not in the way.
I bet you did your usual speciality of having a different texture on it.
It's 4 sides.
Yep.
Oh,
and
so
each
smart.
side is I sort of soft blended tiny bits and then painted. In fact, if I put this mode on, you can see the sort of texture I painted onto it a little bit better. And you especially see that on the side bits here, the wood.
Wow.
And over here on the walls, we've got this wallpaper.
I made a hedgehog from like 2 circles.
Sounds amazing. Just gonna turn off the put this down to minimal so it's not highlighting over that. The wallpaper, you'll notice that the golden bits are shiny as well, so you can get 2 different textures.
Wow. Is that made from is that a single square that has been cloned and resized?
No, the wall itself is actually just one big piece.
I meant the
the little things. Yeah. That was a stroke. That then I changed it. If I go into it,
I love seeing the steps, like the groups here.
If I change this, you can see how it was solid like that, and then I changed the.
Oh,
it's a painting.
Yeah, painting.
Oh,
I thought that was physical.
Smart.
Yeah.
And then I've got these paintings,
of course.
And to save memory, I've got a painting on each of the different sides. Just slotted into the wall, so you only have to have one sculptor. I've tried to do that everywhere I can. The same on the ceiling, like this ceiling rose here is the same as the one that's over in the corner to try and save.
People are going to go mad to get their hands on these assets. Are you going to let them have them? Like the bits?
Yeah, of course, over here, I've put these lights, and this is to create these reflections on the floor, because we don't have true reflections in Dreams, so to speak. So I put it there, and they don't cast shadows, and they only give off, I've put them down to 1%, so they don't really give off any light, but they create that nice shine there. Same on this wall, so you get that sort of realistic looking. And you can see the text gadgets. Here's the text gadgets for the
That's clever.
And because everyone else is doing it, I also made like a
marble statues are in.
Marble statues are in. I didn't have time to sculpt anything good, so it's just a load of intersecting circles. So
So if that's not the real light, how did you do the window pane with shadows on the floor?
Oh, good point, Ed. Yeah.
We're gonna go outside this room and you realize that John's built like a whole world in a mansion that this is just a tiny little bit of. And our brains will just melt.
Yeah. Plenty of people in the chat.
Please please don't have that be the case. Just for my own sanity.
Is that from the fireplace? The window pane?
Oh, no, that's unique, yeah. So over here I've got the window panes, but sometimes the shadow resolution in Dreams isn't good enough when something's really thin, but I really wanted to get that on the floor down here. So if I turn off some of my, or turn on some of my invisible things, you can see I've got these things creating like fake shadows, which are non-collidable and invisible.
Dude! Dude!
And then spirally legs are really fun to make. There's some really cool
How did you do that?
High detail.
Yeah, how did you do it?
So on here, if I go into it, I got one circle and then cloned it around like that and then copied it over and over and over again like that, but using the grid.
Yeah. I would have never thought to do that. That's really smart.
I was thinking of like building a lathe and having some sort of like...
and I reuse assets like here, the end of the tools.
Yep.
That's also, if we go and look at the door, that's the hinges on the door, you see.
Yep.
And the door handle itself. So it's really cool to try and do things like that.
Unique assets have a cost, right? So
yeah, exactly. So you try and reuse as much as you can.
Yep. Yeah, and people are asking about the thermometer, and I mean,
Kareem was up here asking.
Yeah, the graphics is high because I've kept lots of things like really tight for this, but I could actually now copy it a lot of times and it wouldn't go up because now I've made a load of things. It was just like all the amount of unique things that are in here, basically. And yeah, I've made an AI, but it doesn't work very well at the moment when you play it. It's on a debug button. You probably accidentally
casually said, "Oh, I made an AI. It's not perfect yet."
No, it's not. So... It's really terrible, but it will be improved. So
could we see it?
Yeah, it's kind of. Let's try. So what I do is I'll break. So you can zoom in. You've got like slow mode, and it pulls the focus onto what you're aiming at, and there's a aiming thing as well to help you aim.
Sickening.
Hold a load different. Don't know what I'm going over.
It's because you moved
I moved it earlier, didn't I? So, and the way you hit is like it's how much you hold and let go of R2, and then when you let go of it fast enough, then it hits. You'll see how we made the sounds later. Tom will
I've got some
tweet out a picture. The sounds were only made like a couple of hours ago.
Literally while we were just like putting together the collection for the stream.
So what I do is I delete a bunch of balls just quickly.
Load of people
cheating.
Oh yeah, jeez.
I'm just going to show you the.
A load of people want a collaboration between John and Disarmed.
Right, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it square? Yeah. Okay, so now this is the AI is aiming itself. I should have probably left a couple of balls so it can have let's undo one.
You can choose.
There we go. So yeah. Okay, so this is the AI aim. So it's thinking about it for a second, and then after it's thought about it, it then chooses a target. So I get into a different view so we can see that I'm not aiming from this point of view. I'm just going to hit on behalf of the AI, and it missed because it's terrible.
I just like to think that you purposely made bad AI so you can feed it and pool all the time.
Yeah, I've made it so it's like fallible.
Do you want a game of pool, John?
Yeah, why not, Ed?
1-on-1?
All right, let's close this with a game of pool.
Look.
Oh, was that the AI?
Yeah, that was the AI. And then let's see if it pops this one. Here we go. Will it do it? Will it choose the right pocket? I've got a feeling it's probably going to aim for the wrong pocket, but let's find out. Is it going to aim for the right? No, it's now confused. There we go. Let's just hit and hope. Oh!
What?
And drop the mic.
Well done, John.
Thanks.
I like to think that was totally deliberate.
Absolutely deliberate, completely 100%. Was not fluke. Cannot confirm.
Wow.
Okay, let's have a,
let's
have a quick game.
You have a game.
Okay, let's get the chat. Ed or John? Let's see who's...
I mean, I feel like John's maybe had
We're going to say the first one to
practice.
pot a ball.
Wow, that's low bar.
2 balls.
2 balls. 2 balls.
If you did miss some of the things we talked about earlier in the stream, the beta is closing on Monday, February 4th at 5 p.m. GMT. This is because we need to go back to working on Dreams for all of you. And by that time, you will need to have published your stuff. You can publish it privately. You can publish it publicly. Just make sure you do one of those so that it will be there for later in the year when we launch Dreams. So,
if you're worried,
if you want to come back to it, if you don't, go ahead. Just
foul.
Two
shots to you, Ed.
Publish things on the Sunday, maybe, if you're
I would publish things on Sunday just to be like extra doubly safe. I'm sure there will be people that work on stuff down to the 0 hour, but and we'll make sure that we give you as much messaging on Monday through our channels as we can about when that's shutting down and remind you to save and publish your things.
And maybe at the end, when John publishes this, we'll show people how to...
Yeah, we'll just go through it at the end when we publish this.
That could be your final tip.
And if you do publish something awesome that you've been like holding on to or waiting over the weekend, just hashtag it Dreams PS4 if you're on Twitter. Get our attention on it. We're going to do another stream next week where we show a bunch of the stuff that gets published this weekend. So like a final beta stream.
So yeah, I think we can call it a game there, Ed. I clearly won.
Yeah, I think.
2 in a row. Yeah.
John's won this one.
And in fact, if I quickly press triangle fast enough, let the balls come rolling down.
The beta will not be available offline. We just need to go back to actually working on Dreams and taking your feedback and getting back to work.
Back to work.
Not like we've been on holiday for the last...
No, we haven't. We've still been working on Dreams.
We've been working very hard.
But it's just, this is like an extra distraction on that, so...
Okay, I'm going to show... So I've already shown, obviously, making some tips, but I'm going to go through for, I don't know how much time we've got, and just show how I did a few things.
Yeah, cool.
Hopefully...
It is 6:39.
How long do I...
I don't know. Just how many... I mean, you'll be here all night if we leave you.
Yeah, you did, absolutely.
At a certain point, we'll just turn off the lights, take these off, everybody goes home.
John will still be here.
Just leave John
on the stream.
So
I'm sure the community would love it.
I'm going to start out with the fire. So I'm going to... That's all I'm going to do. We'll do the fire and see how well we can make something look like it's on fire. So the first thing is the... if I tunnel into it too far there, John. You can pull it out. You can. No, I won't pull it out. I just need to get that log out from the inside. Go down further. There we go. Okay, cool. So down to this log. Right. So I've made something that can simultaneously glow and not glow, which some people may or may not know about. So the way we do that is make it so not everything else is hidden, so we've got some context. I'm going to start a new sculpt. I'm going to make it vaguely fire-shaped, branchy bits, like that. That'll do. And then we're going to paint it. And I'm going to paint it completely black. And then I'm going to get orange. And just paint this on the areas where I want it to glow with a bit of soft blend. So it's like in the gaps where the heat will form and join up like this. On this side. A bit more over here. And then to get that crinkly texture that I've got over there, I go back into sculpt mode, choose black again, and get a square shape. I had to sort of Google pictures of fires to see what this looked like. But it's basically something along the lines of bits that are stuck together like this with lines in between. It's quite sort of uniform, the way it cracks apart.
dragon scale.
Yeah, dragon scale, exactly. So you just do that over any of the bits that are orange, basically. And I will quickly skip ahead. So if I make it glow now, you can see it only glows on those bits. And you can change the colour a little bit so we can make it a bit more orangey when we need to. Or you can change the hue cycle, which is sometimes an easier way to do it. And then we just want to loosen up. I like to use the sculpt detail tool to do that. And you can see how it's starting to look like that. If I keep going, which I won't do because now I've explained the technique, but you can imagine it's going to eventually look like that. But also, you noticed...
But there's more.
But there's more. I had, which has been left now, so it's hard to see, so you have to go back in the stream. I had like the little bits of white on it, which you always get on burnt logs. So how I did that was I got this bit of sculpt, which is essentially a white sculpt. It's very loose, and on the second thing, the inside of it, because you have a secondary colour, is really dark, so you get that sort of like white-black noise. And then using that, if I just, in fact, use this one, all I've got to do is sculpt back into it.
What is the secondary colour? Is it space between the flecks?
Yeah, exactly, the sort of inside colour. And then I can just paint that over the sort of bits of the wood like this.
So you do this as a second
yeah,
sculpt?
second sculpt is sort of like on top of the other one, because then I can give it like different properties, you know, like shininess and whatnot like that.
Are you using surface snap, or are you just doing it freehand?
Just doing it freehand. I'm using soft blend a little bit, so I'm actually inside, and then as you soft blend, it like pushes up the surface, so I can get it just near the surface. Once you've coated your whole log like that, it will start to look like it's on fire, and I'll make the log less shiny as well, because it's quite shiny. Make it matte. There we go. Okay, and now we need those flames that I've got going on there. And the way I did that is using the painting tool and what's this one called, the pen or the pencil? The pencil. And what you want to do is you want to start thick and then go thin and you do that by how hard you are pressing R2. You just want to get a few like this, you know, imagine sort of what you think fire would look like. Try and be as random as you can. Get some different size ones. There we go. And then we're going to animate it. Now, I've seen people who've done fire, and even I used to do it this way. When they animate, they turn on the thing and they animate it like that, because it kind of looks, you know, that's the first thing you would go to, right? But the problem is when you go slow, you can you see it like pulsing like this,
step by step.
Yeah, step by step. If you don't do the pulse, instead come to here and turn down the fleck density, it's nice and smooth.
Yeah.
So turn that right down, and then turn up the speed of your animation. Make it glow. Make it a bit more yellow. Okay. And we want to turn on jet trail for this next bit. It's quite important. That does make it even faster. It's not quite fast enough for fire. That's better. If you get out your action recorder and now just grab it and wiggle it around randomly and scale it up and down randomly. So I'm like, whoa, whoa. So I'm just moving it with the sound effects. There we go.
Great.
And because of the jet trails on, it will spawn in different places. So you see I've got this nice bit of random and kind of like floofing up is the technical term.
Yep.
Obviously it looks like square fire at the moment. So what we want to do now is go into the style tool and we want to change it. I think the one I used was this one. No, not that one. That one maybe. That's the one. Yep. And you also want to tweak on some of the special effects here. So if you get it running, you can sort of see what they do. And I think it's the flow one. And then make it looser.
It's comforting when you're like, I think it's this one. I don't really know. You can try this. Might work this way.
You just play with it.
It's largely how I create in dreams.
Yeah. It's really good. You can just play with it and you go, is that right? No, that's not right at all. Undo. Is that one right? Yeah, that one's better. Until you're happy with what you've got.
Yeah.
So you can see this is basically how I created that fire.
That's amazing.
But it was just like spending the time tuning this to make it look right. I also, using the exact same technique, but without making it glow, did the smoke on the top as well, which is exactly the same. And the cool thing was, after I did the smoke, I go over here and show you what I mean. You can actually sculpt into it while time is running, and it pauses, and you can draw yourself, like, as long as you're using the right fleck. The smoky fleck I find is good as that one, the splat. And you can draw it as if it's like going around things like this. So let's draw a couple on there, and then when you leave, that's where your smoke's going to be. So it's a really nice way if you sort of understand where smoke's going to be.
Yep. That sure was.
The dream of us is going to be on fire over the world.
Just fire. Remix everyone's level with fire. That's what a way to close out the beta.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do is more tips and stuff later on this. I might even do like some streams of my own at some point.
Yes.
But,
Cool.
Should we show how people can publish?
Oh yeah. Let's do that.
Publish this. Publish our collection and all that good stuff.
And not save that.
So if we want to talk, so people that don't know how, if they're not too sure how to publish certain things,
we're gonna do that.
So while you're on a version, you can go in here and you can hit save a version, and you can save the version online as private, and you tick, and no one else can get access to that. And it'll be there waiting for you when you get back into streams.
Something happens.
So that's the best way of doing it. Obviously, you can just publish it like you've published anything else to be for everyone to see. But if you're not finished with it yet, that's the best way of doing it. And I usually do it from inside the level here and just save version. If you save it just onto your PlayStation 4, do not do this bottom one.
Do that if you want it to carry over.
The middle one or the top one, middle or above.
Yeah.